Hi, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with a state of the market update. Today is December 19th, 2020. Before we get started, this video is for educational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security, and I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. Also, if you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. It really does help me. Also, I can be found on Twitter at AlphaCharts365, where I post ideas, basically all week long. All right, so looking at the SPX, the uptrend is intact. We're above all the moving averages. Clear skies ahead. Everything looks fine with the SPX. Moving on to the Qs, which I watch even closer. Um, Go to hollow candles. Yeah, so we had the breakout, we had the retest, and now the move higher. I drew this in back over here. It was just a good guess, happened to follow it. That was just dumb luck. But the idea was more important here. And now we had maybe a little pullback. It kind of found support over here at the 308 level or so. The low was what was the low? 307.61. And so you know what? It's about 3% from where we're at back to this retest. We could retest it again. We have a rising 23-day EMA here. But right now, nothing out of the ordinary is happening. Everything looks good. There's no reason not to think that we're not going to maybe consolidate sideways or chop around for a day or two and then continue higher. So those are the cues. Everything looks good there. IWM, clear skies, breaking out, all-time highs. It's a beautiful looking chart. Uh, Lots of things to like with IWM. So, small caps are participating and leading, right? So that's a great thing to see. Next up, we're going to look at XLF, looking at some indexes. All right, so with the XLF, we aren't breaking out to new highs yet, but I believe it was on Friday that they just cleared the banks to buy back shares of stock, and it had a huge move after hours. So I think that XLF, is going to gap up, probably hit close, if not hit the $30-ish level, and then we'll see. $30 has been big time big time resistance in the past. Let's just go to a weekly. You can see here was the 2007 highs. Hit it again here, hit it again here. I think we're gonna hit it a fourth time here. So seeing what it does at that level, I think is gonna be really important for the market. Again, I don't trade the financials too often because it's not a growth stock, even though I actually do have some XLF calls, which I bought a few months ago, that $30 calls. So hopefully they'll make some money off those. But I don't really trade them too often. It's more of a health of the market. But if we break the new highs in the financials, uh, probably going to be a good market environment. And that's the point of this particular chart. But also, we may want to look at some individual stocks. I'll show you one that I like a lot was Ally Financial. This one, you know what? It's butting up against all-time highs, so it's ahead of the index, obviously outperforming it. I really like that one, but that's not the purpose of this video. Let me keep going. SMH, broke out to all-time highs, led the market. Now we have a consolidation just in a range here. Nothing out of the ordinary. Moving averages are catching up. SMH going higher. I think the market is healthy. So, and it had really hasn't done anything since December 7th. So, it's just consolidating is great gains, and I think this moves higher, and the market moves with it. Next up, let's look at lumber. So looking at lumber, you know what? I mean, just broke out of this area back in November and literally has gone straight up, coming up to an inflection point over here around 83 to 84. So I think that this will be a good point, very similar to XLF actually, where we're kind of coming up to an inflection point where there may be some resistance, maybe some pullback, so on and so forth. So just something to keep in mind that the market has been absolutely on fire and amazing the last 6 or 8 weeks. But know that it doesn't happen like this forever, and to mind your risk. Let's keep going. Um, Looking at SPX versus TLT, just a little ratio chart for risk on, risk off. Again, in an uptrend, everything looks good. Let's look at credit. Looking at credit spreads, this is IEI versus HYG. We want to see a narrowing of spread, and that is basically what we're seeing. It is in a downtrend. Everything looks very, very healthy with credit. Nothing that I would be worried about at this point. Next up, let's look at the VIX. And VIX, we had a spike up, if you remember, back in December 14th, but the market was looking great. So we said this was probably just a retest and we'd want to see it kind of roll over. It's exactly what it did. That is the bullish scenario right now. We're way under 25 and trying to get under 20 at this point. So I think the VIX continuing to fall is a definite positive for the market. Let's look at the put call ratio. Equity only put call ratio. As you can see, back in December, we were getting a little overheated. We did have that little snapback, which caused the VIX to rise. And now we're in a very comfortable range, right? Didn't get overheated. Everything's okay. I think, it's indicative of a good market. Looking at the fear and greed index from CNN, we're at a 63. Not overheated, not at an extreme. I mean, I pay attention to this more when we're either in this range or in this range. Right now, we're kind of right in the middle. Everything looks good. And yeah, so I mean, even looking at the MMFI, which is the percentage of stocks above the 50-day, we've been in my red zone for now since November, and it doesn't mean that we can't stay there for a while. Eventually, we will mean revert, and things will come back down. But as of for now, things are okay. So I think the takeaway from this video is the market is good, it's trending. There are no there's nothing that jumps out at me that says, we're in trouble or anything like that. I think going through another week or potentially 2 weeks into the new year, I think market should be fine. I would not be shocked if there's a pullback. I mean, it's been almost it's been so good, especially with XLF coming up to inflection point. Value line geometric index. I didn't do that one. Value line geometric index coming up to an inflection point up here at all-time highs. You have a lot of things, lumber coming up to inflection point at all-time highs. So I wouldn't be surprised if we continue moving a little bit higher for another week or so, finish off this beautiful rally that we've had. And and then we'll see what the market does at that point going into the new year. And there's a lot of new things, news events, new president and the COVID vaccine and COVID variations and mutations and everything else. So we will see what happens. But as of right now, market looks good, looks solid. Ride the waves, but again, mind your risk. This isn't. I don't want to say this isn't a normal market, but this is a really good market right now. So we have to just stimulus could be coming out any day now to fuel this rally into the year end. So again, enjoy, just keep moving those stops up and be careful out there. Hope you all have a good week and happy holidays if we don't talk to you before then. Take care.